This guy. That is the 24 pin. That is the main power source for your motherboard. Hold on to that. Yep. Okay. And then I normally separate all of them out, so I have all of my different types of connectors. Because they're all labeled. It's actually quite convenient. CPU. That's for the CPU. VGA. That's for your video graphics adapter. That's what that's for. So graphics card.
What kind of computer are we building today, Brandon?
A gaming computer for the small one here. We're all excited. Are you kidding? Look, they've got a whole pile of parts over there. Yeah. I think it's going to come out pretty damn great. But yeah, so like, you're going to want to run your cables, ideally, where they're going to go before you need them. So, for example, your CPU connector on your motherboard, if you look in that top corner, there's an 8-pin power connector right here. That is always at the top left of your board. Always. Every modern motherboard, as long as it's not something weird from like HP or Dell, like an actual board you'd buy from Amazon, has it like that. So you grab that CPU power connector before anything else is in, and just throw it in there. So when I throw in that motherboard, it'll just be sitting there waiting for me. Just plug it in. Super easy. Same thing with the 24-pin. See that giant 24-pin connector in here? Yep. Thing's massive, you know? It's absolutely massive. It matches up perfectly
with that one.
With that big 24-pin connector right there. So then you come in, so that's about halfway up on the right side of the board. So we'll come through the case about halfway up on the right side of the board. And that's just ready to go. Huh? Already coming together. Already coming together. So what's left? We have a graphics card. With graphics cards, they have different amounts of connections. So we'll take your graphics card and open it up and see what it needs in order to run properly. Open that up. And this is the big boy. This is like the single most expensive component. This is what makes your frame rate go up or down more than anything else as far as individual componentry goes. Move this over. Put this down. It even has the gold logo for Asus. Gotta love it. Gotta love it. Let's get in here. Oh yeah. 3060. Not bad. I wish I started with a card this good when I was new. Mm. Oh, do you want to peel the plastic off?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, you gotta find it. Where's the edge?
Where is it?
There it is. Ooh, they got that wrapped tight in there. Watch out. Here, I'll start it for you. That way you don't go taking the, the cooler clean off. There you go. There you go, man. Whoa. Look at that. That's not bad looking at all.
Looks like there's stuff under it.
Yeah, you'll have little, like, see, it came with a card to show, it's like a collector's trading card, but it's the graphics card.
Oh, that's kind of cool.
Right? Yeah. You have your little setup guide, you have your, all your normal stuff. Every computer component comes with stuff like this, like the thank you, thanks for choosing Asus.
I'm gonna keep that with the...
But there's your power. We can see that that's an 8-pin ATX power connector, right? And it'll be in the same spot for every graphics card in the market. You buy a big old 4090, you'll have this much extra graphics card on the end, the connector will still be right there. So we'll set that down so it's safe. Come back over, and we'll find an 8-pin VGA connector. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Got one. And just come through. Same exact move as before. And just put it where we're going to need it. Like right here. And in fact, because it's a graphics card, I'll come in this lower one. It'll look a little bit nicer when we're all done. Actually, let me go. There we go. That comes all through. And the computer almost organizes itself. You can see cabling, 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 and you just zip everything down when you're done. It's really not difficult. Okay, so then we're going to need to do storage. Actually, this is a good part for you that you can do. So what we'll do is we'll spin this forward again. Right, be really careful. This case has what's called hard drive. It's not a bay, like you have bays down here, traditional hard drives, but for yours, because it's an SSD, you take this off, you slide a little bit, I gotta do that, right? So you take that little plate, and we'll put this back so we don't lose it. That's a good thing for all you guys watching online. This is for anything. You're taking something apart, put the fasteners back. You will lose them. Right? So this is your storage. This is 1,000 gigs of storage. If you come from the Xbox, I'm sure you're like, whoa, that's insane. Yeah, no,
that's as much as my Xbox.
This is like average. You could go way higher than this for a PC. Oh yeah, easily, dude. I have a single hard drive that can carry 6 terabytes. So that's 6 times this size. Yeah. Oh yeah. So you open that up, right? So that's your storage. That is your SSD. You open it up. Let me see. It's funny, Dad. See hard drives. They've
Come a long way.
they went and did a shrinky dink on you.
Yeah.
That's a terabyte right there. And the thing is, it's not even a hard drive. This is a solid state. That's flash storage. Like, feel how light that is.
Yeah, the hard drives were like that big.
Yeah, hand that to Hat one to Dad. I'm sure he'll get a kick out of it. It weighs nothing. Well, nothing for 1,000 gigs of storage. You wouldn't believe it. Especially coming from more traditional storage methods. Yeah, no, it's incomparable.
I still remember DOS.
Yeah. MS-DOS still runs in the background in Windows 11. Don't feel bad.
Yeah, that was Windows 3.1.
3.1? So with these, it's pretty easy. I like to put this little guy down if it'll let me, but yeah, see, your design won't allow for that, so that's fine. Put that down on the plate, spin it around. You have to line up a hole. See? I normally try to get one on one side and one on the opposite side, and we'll see, that might be the right fastener. Get that in the hole. Try to get it lined up. Sometimes it's easier than others. It's just... Alright. See, I had it lined up and I popped it right out. Oh, get it! It's running! You know what I'll do? This will make it a little bit easier. Put the fastener in the little hole for it, right? Screwdriver on. I can try to sneak this up in my hands. We'll see if that actually happens or not. It's always a little awkward with the sleds, but once you get one on there, it's easy. Oh, there we go. See, I got it. I think so. I think so. Don't do anything weird. Don't fight me now. Alright, there we go. So you get one in. In the corner. So that's our top corner. You slide that other corner. Get that one. So I'll let you do these other ones, just because that'll be a lot easier. And you're going to need 3 more of these. So these are the screws, right? You do that. There we go. I'll start moving some of the garbage and that type of stuff. Get on your bay. We'll come up and we'll clean all the garbage when we're done, because that always happens with the computer builds. Of course. Yes, that one's mine. Alrighty. And remember, the biggest thing is don't force anything. You will break it. Everything in computers today is made out of aluminum and plastic, so there's nothing that requires a to get it done. Nothing. Not one piece on the system.
So no Ugga Duggas?
No Ugga Duggas. It's a shame, too. They do make electric screwdrivers for PC building, but I think they top out at like 1.5 Newton meters for the torque limit, so it's nothing. It's, nothing.
Oh,
Go show them the go-kart, yeah.
In the meantime, you should show the viewers the 3D printer.
It is running in there. It's turned on.
I'm kind of worried if I unplug this, it'll die. Because it only had like 20%.
Oh, no,
I'm
man.
gonna do something real quick.
What you doing?
As long as I'm not using a tripod. Well, that I won't show
I can
process.
understand that, though. I mean, you do what you gotta do. The show must go
Alright,
on.
ready now.
The show must go on, David.
Did you hide something, Bentley?
No.
What did you put away in your room, huh?
Nothing.
What was that?
Nothing.
What was that about? It was a little awkward.
Nothing.
I don't know if I trust you right now.
Nothing.
Yeah. So all I'm doing while he's working is I'm hiding away extra cables that we aren't going to need for this build. Like you can see, 1, 2, 3 lines of SATA power connectors. We're going to need 1 line of this. We won't need all this extra stuff. But the logic is if you put away all these cables for later, 2 years from now, I want to throw in a bunch of hard drives. There you go. They're sitting there waiting for you. You can just pull them right out and boom, you have all your power connectors that you need to run the upgraded version of your system compared to when you started with it. So yeah, that's literally power done almost right there. Actually, yeah, save Molex and a little LED power. So I'll leave this up here, just in the side, just kind of waiting for us. How's it looking? That's not bad, man. Let me check the torque on those for you. Make sure we didn't do anything crazy. Not bad, not bad, not bad. That's about perfect. Yep. Right. So you do all 4. Make sure it's nice and tight. Make sure that's not wiggling, doing anything funny. And then, of course, because this is one of the quick mount style, you just drop it in. And do that. Make sure these tabs line up on all sides. And then drop this screw in there. And all of a sudden, that is an installed SSD. And that's it. So there's the storage for your system. That comes way later, but we will do that. That's for your Wi-Fi. Run that in there. Again, literally, that's it. Please don't over-tighten your systems because people like me have to go in and break it to take it apart later. So this is kind of a fun part that you can do. You see right here? And I can actually, I can show you this just because we're doing the video, right? So I'll take that out again. Notice how the threads aren't damaged, and I've used them multiple times. Crazy. In every hard drive, you have those 2 connectors. There's a big one and a little one. The big one's for power, the small one's for data. It's the same for every storage device that's internal for computers today. We have that power connector right here. You want to do the honors? You see how there's a tab that only goes one way? There's a tab that only goes one way there. Plug those in. It's on that one, on the bigger one. Yep, you just line them up. And it will be, it's not the easiest. The biggest thing is don't flex it down or up. You want to line it up straight, right? Like, see, like you can push that down, line it up nice and straight, like I'll help you there, and then just drive her home. You can put your thumb behind it if you need help. You see it? Yep. You got it? I can help you. See, line it up, make sure they're straight. Put it in there, and then I normally like to get my thumb behind it just because it's a wider connector. Slide her home. So that's powered already. That already has its power connection. What we'll do, just to let you do the data connection later, is I'll leave this loose. That might actually be a little more convenient for you. Just shove that down in there. Do that, and we'll leave this right there, right? So we won't lose anything. Even if this goes flopping around, it's not a huge deal. It is an SSD, so it's not, there's no moving parts in these. Doesn't really matter if they move around. Okay, so I think we're getting dangerously close to installing the motherboard. There's not a whole lot left to do for preparation. So let's get this pulled up, right? Carefully rotate it around so we can see the front and put it down on its back again. Now, you see how these cables might get caught? I like to do that, just so you can actually have your lengths. So this is there's 2 parts in a build that are super, super, super important. Installing the CPU and checking for standoffs. See how the case, it looks like there's nothing there, but there's actually these little nuts and bolts. Not nuts and bolts, but like nuts that you have to screw. Let me see, I have to find the right ones. It's going to be these ones. These little guys, and they have like a flat top. Now, that you don't, normally you're doing this with the motherboard through it, but just to kind of show you how they work, it screws down in and holds the motherboard down.
Yeah. It's basically welded nuts.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So you come down in here, get everything out of the way, and you check. Standard ATX design would dictate 9 standoffs. 1, 2, so you see you have them in the corner, and it's in this orientation. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Now let's take a look at this motherboard here. If you look at the back, as I pick it up precariously, it shows you where they're supposed to go, right? Avoid collision. It shows you, do not damage this. Keep standoffs out of here. Don't make sure there's no standoffs here. It's trying to help you to not destroy your board. If you have too many standoffs and you push that board down into that compute, boy, you will ruin that thing so fast, and none of the company's warranties will cover that. That's entirely on you. This is called an I/O shield, in and out shield. There's the in and out section of the motherboard, USB ports, all the different minutiae you find on a motherboard. This is a rite of passage for all new PC builders because these things like to slice the hell out of your hands. Just the truth of it. So you line it up. You can see with yours it's actually kind of easy because you don't have a fairly complicated back panel. You're going to take this in this orientation, like that. Be careful, the edges are a little sharp. And you're going to press it into this cavity right here. There's a rectangular cavity. Right? So like what I'll do, set it in, right? And then you press in like one corner. It's kind of hard to, yeah. And you push them in by the corner and make sure each one is in just to make sure it's nice and seated. I did that one, so you're going to want to do, yep. You're getting it? It's not easy. This is one of the trickier parts, is you have to kind of and pop it in. I'll let you struggle for a little bit and we'll see if you can't get it. I believe in you. That looks pretty good, actually. Let's see. Did you get it? I think he did. Yeah. No, Bentley, you did it, man. Yeah. No, perfect. Good job. Proud of you. Okay, so now that your I/O shield is in and we took the time to double check our standoffs, we'll pull all of our connectors. Like, see, these are going to get in the way, so I'll just pass those through the bottom and I'll pull them through again when it's time. And that happens. Sometimes you have to kind of redo your preparatory work just because, like, oh, that's going to fit a little different than intended. Completely fine. In fact, I'm probably going to flatten these and send them through like that. There we go. Send them through like that, just so they'll be a little bit less in the way. And yeah, so the last thing to do when you're doing a motherboard install is to kind of essentially test fit it. And pull, again, you hold that, and I'll shove this one here, right? So that's out of the way. Make sure that's out of the way. That will cut. Lift these up. Bring it down. Make sure you're only putting weight on standoffs where they're supposed to be. So, like, I'll set it down carefully, and then you have to press it. See I'm lining up all these different ports, all the USB ports and stuff like that. And you line that up, and then you look to see, and actually, that is perfect. Look at how the holes of the standoffs are already lined up for us. And that's it. You just kind of start from the right side and lower it in like that. And it goes in every time for the most part without any issue. So then, what we're going to do is we're going to have Bentley install some motherboard standoff screws, but I'm going to do the first one just so it doesn't move on you. Rotate left till it clicks, do not rethread them. You see, yep, I actually may have just done it. Yeah, these might be the wrong fasteners. Let's double check, because that feels too tight. Let's see, did they use these ones instead? They very well could have, because they aren't labeled in this kit, I'm afraid. Yeah, I'm thinking that might be it. Yep. That's it. So you're going to be using these ones. So I used one, you're going to need 8 more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Don't lose them. If you drop one, say something. Because if you drop it in there and it gets caught under the board or in the power supply, we turn it on the first time, bang. There's no reason to feel shameful if you drop it. I have done it a million times myself. We'll get it out. Even if I have to unmount the motherboard, I don't care. So, and you know the holes, right? So you can see them clearly demarcated. That's probably the hardest one right there. I'm doing good on the clutch, man. We were just talking. I'm doing good on the clutch. All right. So let's check those out. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Not bad. I would call this 5% from the correct tension. You just need a little more, but you're doing good. You're better off to do it on the soft side than the hard side anyways. That's why there's 9 of them.
What he said.
Alright. Okay, so what do we have now? We have RGB connector 1. Which is going to be, actually, no, see, yours, you have the other style of RGB. I may have to do it the other way, we'll see. This is for your graphics card, so that will wait on. You don't have a graphics card in yet. This is your 24-pin ATX main connector. It even has it labeled conveniently, ATX main. When you have a 2-part, office computers use a 20-pin. Gaming computers use a 24-pin, or workstation computers. You have to line them up on top of each other. Like there's a little ridge, and you do that, and then they stick together, and actually you have to have the arrows pointing to each other, right? And then you have a clip on that side. That clip coincides with that. So, that means, we're going to do it right, twist it around, and this is how I like to organize them. You keep it together, and then give it that 90-degree bend, right? Do not back, forth, back, forth, back, forth, back, forth. You will shatter these wires like you wouldn't believe. But one good bend during installation to make sure that that's how it looks permanently is not a problem. And in fact, helps you keep your 24 pins looking really nice, right? And there's your 24 pins. So that is the main power supply connector for the entire motherboard. Next, we're gonna do CPU. So you have an 8-pin, we have two 4-pins. Office computers use this connector, like little cheap computers, little, you know, like open Word documents. When you have a higher end processor, it needs more power. They spread it across two connectors just to make sure it's more efficient and you don't run into heat issues. So if that's like that, we're going to do the same thing. You organize them, make sure that they're together. 90-degree bend, right down. Make sure both sides are connected, right? That's important, because if that's plugged in weird, you're gonna have problems. And also, I see way too many people online, stop running your CPU power cable from like over here across the motherboard into there. There's always a hole up here, bro. Like, there's always, even on the cheap computers, they just don't have this rubber piece. It's just a hole. But just use the hole. Like, that's what it's there for. Makes your computers like way less trashy. HD audio, we discussed that. HD audio's down there. It's a really easy one. In fact, I actually have a little too much cable. I'll have to like finagle it and kind of move it. And in fact, I may have to pick that up for that one. Let's see. Where does it pop up? There we go. See? I can feed that down because we don't need that much cable up there, right? And then I'll bring it back up so David can see. Careful. See, these are fun ones because they have a missing pin. You can see that there, how it's just solid. If you look, and you may or may not be able to see that on camera, there's a missing pin down there too. That coincides perfectly with the missing pin on that connector, so you can't plug it into the wrong one. Makes it very, very, very easy to set it up the right way and not break your computer. Let me see. All right.
So I'm so happy about me.
And
He's like, this is so much shit. It's not bad, man. It's really not bad once you get into it. Okay, so what should we do next? Let's do RAM. That could be fun. So this is an actual component. This is where your system stores what it's actively working on. It goes right there. Exactly. Good job. Good job. We have a little, you have a sharp little knife or something. You have a pocket knife, Bentley?
I did.
I did. What the hell happened to the pocket knife, Bentley?
Oh, it's snapped in half.
I hawked it.
Broke. He was trying to make a shiv out of a stick or something. I don't.
I was trying to make a spear and a stick, and it just, the bolt like went loose. And it snapped in half, and it's just a blade and a handle.
Alright, so that's Corsair Vengeance LPX. Yeah, you have 16 gigs of RAM. I did you right. I wasn't going to have you sitting here and hitting me up in a few weeks. My computer's slow and I have a lot of stuff open. I don't care. That's on you. Spend more money. But yeah, that's what your RAM looks like. It is really nice. It's DDR4. It's not DDR3 like a older computer. You have the nice newer stuff. Now, with RAM, this is kind of funny. If you look right here, your board's very kind. It shows you DIMM A1, A1, A2, B1, B2. It says, and it's hard to read it, first you should use B2 and A2. So that's these four, right? If you're, and again, you can put 2 more sticks of RAM in the system if you want to down the line. But for the first 2, you're going to want to have them. Let's see, and actually the way that you can tell with these, that line looks like it's in the middle, but it's not. It's canted, so you can only install them one way, right? So you line it up on the top. Let's see, did I have it the right way around? If it lets me insert, yeah, I'll try to get out of the way. Let's see. That's the right way around. Goes right in. So, and the best part is, once you have the first one correct, you know the other one goes in that way. Just line it up the same way. Line it up there and at the bottom. Very, very easy. This is one of the easier components to install, just because there's no tools required. There's nothing fancy. Line it up. Make sure it's lined up. If it's not and you push, you'll break the motherboard. If it does work, it'll go click, 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 click. You never raise these with your fingers, except when you're taking it out. Like when you're removing it, you do that. But when it's time to install, let the pressure do it, because that's letting you know that it's actually properly installed, right? So there's RAM, CPU, we have 24-pin CPU power, we have audio connected, there's your front panel there we still got to do. I think we should probably do the CPU cooler just as things are getting denser in here. That way we can make sure that that won't become a problem. CPU box. Alright, so there's your other badge. Again, good computer components normally come with little badges. That's a Ryzen badge for your system. So that'll go, see that shiny sticker? Yep. Gotta love shiny stickers, I mean, come on now. Here's your warranty, product information. Just keep that with the other books, of course.
The 10,000 other books I have.
10,000 other books, of course. And then we get out, this is the stock CPU coolers have come a long way. Let's put it that way. This is just a stock one. Again, you can upgrade this component, make your CPU run cooler. Means you can get more performance out of it.
The old CPUs didn't even have a fan; they were just coiled.
You just it's like a heatsink. This one comes with a thermal paste, right, to take up any microscopic gaps and differences in the surface. These are awesome. I really do actually love these CPU coolers. I'm probably gonna go like that. I mean, I'd like to do it with the logo on top, but I feel like it'll hit there. And it actually looks like I might have to take off this back panel. Oh, that's gonna be a pain if I have to do that. I might actually have to do a little bit of a quick disassembly. Where's the AMD booklet? Can you give me that for this one?
Like
oh, you didn't take them away yet? Let's see. This is what it is. There's two types of CPU cooler for AMD. One type uses these black plastic clips. The other type screws directly down into the board. I think this is the type that goes directly down into the board.
That's what it looks like.
Yep, that's exactly it. In fact, you can see it right here. Just for those referencing it, there it's telling you take those off. So yep, that's all. So we'll do that really fast. Take out one. Take that out. Take that.
All right, Bentley's been
Take
geeking out since yesterday.
Good.
What since yesterday?
I see you've been geeking out, waiting, you know.
Of course.
I've been doing all week.
Don't break it, Brandon.
I'm gonna, bro.
Don't.
Grab that. Grab that.
I don't need that.
So no, you'll be fine. Don't worry about it. You got money, don't you?
Next he's gonna be asking Brandon to build him a girlfriend and plugs into it.
You know that costs a lot extra.
I'm sure it will.
That's
Stay tuned.
there are some surcharges that come with that. See, watch. See, watch. This little panel here is gonna go boonk and fall right through. I'm gonna have to hold it with my
less than
hand.
actual lemon though.
That's true. Now that you mention it,
She'll have a quarter 1030 for self-lubricating. You know,
there's like a 10W30 container.
yeah.
Like. Right, so see, now here's the one problem with these back panels. See, if I move my hand, so you have to hold it. You have to hold that back panel with one hand, and you come in with the CPU cooler with the CPU already installed. Please don't ruin your fucking... Underneath here's a bunch of little holes with little contacts. If you put that goopy cooler on that with no CPU, my goodness, you will cry. So then, line up the 4 connectors, line up the 4 screws, right, into those 4 holes. So I'm going to get that one and that one. Then, what I like to... My whole bit came out of the screwdriver.
You need more light, that does go up brighter.
That would be nice if you... Yeah.
Yeah, it's daylight.
Ow! That's awesome. Thank you for that. That's sick. You know, so see, so what I like to do is do the one side first, then do the opposite. Right? And do some of this one. The key point here is that you don't want to do all of one side before you've done the others. Yeah, it's a star pattern, just like on tires.
Evenly torque it.
Evenly torqued, that's exactly it. Alright, so we'll make sure that's biting. I think that's biting. Please be biting? Yeah, it is. It's hard to feel it. So yeah, we'll come back. Now do this one next, excuse me. Do that one. And come do this one. That one's tight. Come do this one. Make sure that one's tight. Come do this one. That should be biting, is it not? Come on now. Let's see, let me back off on there. But that happens, that's okay. Back off on there. Back off on there. Back off on there, because this one on the bottom right's the only one being funny.
We'll come in and make sure that is in fact biting.
Well, you never tighten one until you get them all started.
No, that's the thing. I thought it was. That's the joke. I thought she was started. There it goes. There it is.
Rand's giving us a good first reach.
Yeah.
It does sound like that. At least give them the computer a reach around.
Absolutely. I got to make sure the backplate stays on.
Cup the balls.
Got to-
That's,
I don't know what the
that's
balls
an
would
old
be.
movie thing. I don't remember what movie, but I remember it.
Sounds like Caddyshack.
Could have been.
There you go. Ooh. So that is an installed cooler.
I love when he eats the baby fruit out of the pool. They're like, oh god. He's like,
And then you have your
candy bar.
cable, right? Because that's going to power the actual fan there. Every motherboard, and again, I'll show you first and then the camera. See, CPU fan 1. See what it says there? And if you want to look, it says right above that little connector, CPU fan 1. And there's going to be 2 CPU fan connectors normally, and then a bunch of other fan connectors that you can plug in however you'd like. So we'll kind of twist this up just so it's not so big and doesn't look so distracting. And then plug it in right, if I can do it right.
Careful, SpongeBob.
Careful, Icarus. There we go. There we go. Plug that in. Front panel. These are what most new builders find the most intimidating. Okay, it's a bunch of small connectors, and it's reset switch, positive and negative, power switch, positive and negative, which are interchangeable because these just short. Like when you turn on your power switch, it's just shorting 2 pins. That's it, right?
They look small to me, a little average size to me. If anything, a little bit big.
If anything, maybe even they're like actually kind of big. No, just fucking. So you know what we need is your motherboard manual, your quick start manual. Where'd that one go?
There's no cussing on this channel, Brandon.
What?
There's no cussing on this channel. It's a kid
There
thing.
it
Yeah.
is.
We haven't said much worse.
So it's like in this.
You've had tits on the channel, so we've had a lot of things on the channel.
read. That's the one for your motherboard. Wait, what's this one? This isn't even the one for your board, is it? Let's see. Oh, it is. Nice. Okay, so what we're looking for is this little infographic here, just to make it easier for you. Front panel, and you can see with any front panel connection, you have your hard drive, reset switch, all that same stuff. It just tells you where to put them, and you use that missing pin to locate yourself, right? So that's the bank of pins right there, and there's our missing pin. So if I do it like this, that is now oriented the same as this pinout right here, right? So we'll pull this up, and it says reserved for the bottom, so that's not used. Next one up is going to be reset switch. So we'll grab reset switch, right? Reset switch. That pin is reserved, so we ignore it, and we put reset switch on the next 2 pins. Super fun, super interesting. Then the next 2 is hard drive LED negative, then positive. If you hook these up backwards, the hard drive activity LED will not work. So we're going to do negative and then positive, right? Just make sure we're still lined up. We are. So then we'll take the negative first. I'm sorry, my hands are in the way. I know it's going to be hard to see. Negative first, then positive. Oh shit, had the wrong one. There we go. Then positive. Sometimes inputting in one of the pins, one of the other ones comes out. That happens. Don't be upset. Just try again. Cool off, try again. I know this part kind of sucks. And then your power switch, because we don't actually have a power LED, we just have a power switch, is not the reserve pin, one up, and those 2. So that would be this right here. And like that, the entire front panel is already set up. That's the whole front panel in what, 2 minutes? And people try to complain that that takes them like 30, 40, 50 minutes to get set up, and I think they're stupid. That's okay. It's okay to be stupid. You gotta do more things, you'll get less stupid. So that's that, that's that, that's that. Next, we should probably do... Well, let's do SATA first. We're saving the big one for last. That's the graphics card, of course. Pull out. This is a SATA data cable. They look the same always. So they're the same connector we looked at earlier on the hard drives, but smaller, right? So what we would do is take one of those connectors, come in here. So SATA 1.2 and SATA 1.1. I normally go to the first ones first just to try to be less wasteful. Plug that right in. And then send this around the back. Because when I do that, it'll be coming down out here. That'll come through. If you can get it, I know it's a snake. And then it'll go up over there. And we'll literally just run it over and that'll get plugged into there. In fact, we should probably let Bentley do that. I know, you have to do something? Oh my goodness. So yeah, remember this one right there that we did? Let's make this go under all the power connectors because we'll zip tie all these down later. Fancily enough, you see this little push bar? That's always up. So it's really easy, and we'll double check to be certain. But yeah, so literally take that and plug it in on that side. Yeah, thank you, David. Yeah, if you embrace that with your hand. Just make sure it's on the connector. You're not on the connector. There you go. Nope, not quite. Yeah.
Struggling to find the hole.
Yeah, you gotta find the hole, man. You see how it works? There's an L shape in there, and in fact, I can actually lift that up to show you. There's an L shape right there. And yeah, if you do that, see L, and then that has the same L shape. You just line up that L with that L and drive her home.
Shit.
Don't go too hard. If you feel like you have to force it, I'll help you. Because literally what you do is you just grab. Let me see, that one actually is being kind of funny. Let me see, hold on. You know what it is? Yeah, this is one of the more secure ones. Back in the day, wow, those really are secure. They don't like
Back out.
Huh?
Pull back out.
I'm doing it, man. I'm gonna do it.
Oh, no, it's not like it. Whatever.
What on earth? Here, pause for a second. That's actually, oh, there we go. See, back in the day, these weren't a thing. You didn't have the fancy metal connectors. It was just a piece of plastic. So, yeah, these are a little bit harder. You have to really drive them home. Not your fault, bud. That was my fault. I should have tried it first. So, yeah, line that back up. That's all there. And then put this screw in that top hole. There you go. That's that top one. You're securing your SSD down so that doesn't have any issues, with it moving around or whatever else. Well, no, hey, I'm on camera.
Okay. That's fine.
He's like, Dad's like, well, that's never stopped us before.
Get off camera.
I have to on the camera.
He's concentrating.
I'm concentrating. I don't want to ruin this kid's money, He's like, Dad's like, I don't give a shit. Like,
What the hell? It's
all right. So now that everything else is done, all of the basics, all of the minutia, now it's time for the big boy, the graphics card. Because this is the main focal point of any gaming computer. Yeah, you see. Oh man, I love the differential color on the chameleon color on the fans. That's crazy. And then this is what you'll be seeing most of the time is the back panel, right? Which looks like you have another. But you know what we'll do is we'll wait to take that one off until it's in. Yeah. So graphics cards, super easy. They go in these slots here. They're called PCI Express slots. They used to just be called PCI back in the day because they didn't have these convenient locks. It was actually a pain in the ass. So line it up, straight line. It looks like you're going to be in line with this PCI Express slot cover, and you have to take that cover off because you're going to be putting something there. Take that off.
A lot of slots.
Yep. Open this one.
There could be a variety of slots. They'll look the same.
There's a few slots. A handful.
Trust me, they are not all the same.
So on this,
Slow down.
Okay, this.
Graphics card installation is
Slots, not
super,
so
super
much.
easy. You line up, see this little lock here? That's the locking portion. This has to go like right up inside of there. Make sure that's pressed down. You line up with the slot. Get it to the back of the case. Line it up, and push. That is an installed graphics card for physical installation. Oh, here, wait, actually.
Back has to go in more.
Yeah, no, the back looks like it's crooked, doesn't it? Yeah. Let's see. There we go. Oh, see, no, it's
I
kind
can't believe on you that you forgot two things. I'm like, well, that's your stuff that you do the kids.
No, it wasn't. It was Peter packed, and I didn't check it. That's the problem,
I
you
didn't know
know.
what I was looking
It's
for.
these little connectors for five.
$5.
Oh yeah, look at that. You have a whole nother one here.
Peel it off.
Whoa.
Oh.
Ah, it's ruined.
No, it's not broken.
Let's get a whole new computer.
There's covers. There are little covers for the.
Hey, Jesus, Bentley.
It's like I literally told him to do it, and he's like, "What did I do?" Like, there we go. That's how that's
Looks a
supposed to
little more
sit.
straight in the
It took
sauce
3
pan.
tries to get it in.
Of course. Was it worth it if it only took one?
Yeah.
Yeah, actually, it's way more worth it.
It still
Actually,
is.
And then the last thing, right, is you come in here and you. Let me see. Might even be easier with my hand. You line up.
The head shape. Nobody
Oh.
else, just me.
You're the one who gave him the idea.
Probably.
Probably. Yeah, he's like, I'll take
Yes.
that.
Oh, we had a house key on the floor.
Yeah, that was just sitting by the front door.
Oh, that's good.
It was on the inside.
Oh, that's better.
It's not as bad as it could have been. Yeah, no, totally. And these are where I'm putting the screws right back where those slot covers came out. Those you keep because you may, again, there's more expansion slots here. You can put other cards. One of the ones we put in here will be your USB expansion so your ports will work. That's one thing we messed up on. This board is a little bit on the cheaper side. It didn't have a spare connector to make these work. That's the only thing. Everything else is perfect, but what can you do? What can you do?
Why doesn't it work, Brandon?
I can tell you, normally, on a, say a more premium motherboard, you'd have a little connector right here, and there'd be a wire, and there is one in this case around back that you'd plug into the connector around here. And that gives USB to the front. It sends it to the front panel.
Looks like a lot of their connectors, they don't have anything in them.
Yeah, that's a SATA port, though. That's for hard drives. It won't work.
Oh, well, leave ones.
What about those? That's a... Well, why don't you read them with your big old
I
eyes?
can't read,
System
man.
Fan 1 pump connector for water pumps. I don't think that's going to work for USB, boss man.
Well, you're the computer guy. I'm just saying.
But no, that's what I mean. It's like $20. He'll get an expansion card that goes right here that has the missing connector. He'll plug it in, boom, he gets 2 USB ports in the front for like $20. It's nothing, you know. But again, that happens when you say,
We already have
you know, the
some back
difference
here
is
anyway.
if you, and yeah, you have a ton of USB on the back. If you bought the motherboard with the connector, $75 more expensive.
Yeah.
You add the add-in card, $20 more expensive.
Yeah.
I didn't think he cared. You know, I'm like, I don't think.
USBs on the back, so what's
Yeah.
the matter?
Just
think he
convenience
cares.
to have them on the front panel. Oh, plug in
Look
my
at
flash
his
drive.
face, He cares.
Do you care?
Yeah.
It's just like I don't give. I'm gonna be playing Fortnite. Like,
No, he
Bentley
wants
Fortnite.
you to download some kind of game. He told me.
Yeah. So David, do you want to show him or do you want me to show him?
Nah, you show them later on.
Oh Lord.
I was gonna ask you. So what type of parental controls are we putting on this computer? Because
G.
Steam is a wasteland.
Anti-porn.
Yeah, G.
He's like, don't Brandon, don't stop. Just don't.
Maybe PG at most.
He already had to repaint the walls once.
Bentley looking at me like, bro, stop, don't. Just leave it alone. Just leave it alone. Just don't worry. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. No. Shit, I'm on his side. I don't know. Right here, let's get this one in. And this is your power connector. See, video graphics adapter. That's what VGA stands for. You come in, make sure those are nice and connected, and do the same.
It's badge, but then again, the A is the wrong spot. I'm just saying, it's a abbreviations.
You talking shit up there?
I might be.
You talking shit over there, old man?
Usually.
He's like, yeah, that's like what I do. You know me. Like, hey, that's in, that's in. So that's almost everything. That's almost everything. We just got to worry about the fans and stuff now.
What's in the blue box?
That is Wi-Fi adapter. That comes
Ah.
after. Yeah, that's just after we get it running.
Yep.
So-
No, it's Wi-Fi again.
Yeah, you're gonna need some Wi-Fi unless you want to run a cable over there, which
We have Wi-Fi.
you could run a cable for faster internet, but
But you have to be in that room.
you'd have to run a cable from there all the way across, all the way through there, or run it along the roof, which is a pain in the ass, but actually looks really good. So that's up to you guys. They're like, what?
We've been talking about switching to T-Mobile's Wi-Fi and only thing. They have a little box you buy for $30 a month, and it's 500, I believe, gig.
The problem with those is that they run off of 4G and 5G, so it's just as testy as phone service.
It is, but $30 a month, and you can take it anywhere with you.
Anywhere, yeah,
Like,
you're not
anywhere it
wrong,
has T-Mobile
yeah.
Service, you can take it with you. You can put it in any room.
Sure, that's there.
The only wire is a plug to the wall. No
There,
wires else.
connected with
Wi-Fi.
LEDs. Now the only thing about it is we are gonna have to. Yeah, see, this isn't gonna work because that uses a different standard. You know, so do these. So that's just gonna be interesting. We're gonna have to figure out. LED switch reset R. Who's this connect to? Don't lie to me. So this goes all the way up. Yeah, no, that goes up to the reset switch. So that must be the, okay, that's the extra LED connector. This is the USB connector I was talking about, see? So he has an extra connector there. That powers these USB ports.
Yeah.
So literally, you plug that in, the moment he gets the expansion card off of Amazon, boom, you have USB in the front. It doesn't matter.
That'll be David.
That'll be David or whoever. Call me up. I don't care. It's whatever. Let's do that. I'm trying to think. I have a good feeling when I turn this on, the LEDs won't switch on, and I want them to. So I want to make sure that they work. They're powered. Well, they're powered. You're just gonna have to control them off the button until we get it converted. But that's okay. That's not a big deal. Let's see. Let's do this first. Do this first.
What about that?
Yep, that's for LED control, like I was saying. But the problem is your motherboard uses a slightly different LED standard. There's different RGB standards. You have like RGB, RGBA, RGBW, and they're all different ways of controlling red, green, blue, mixing colors, and having fancy colors like on your fans and stuff. Let me do a quick once over here, just to see if you actually have one of those RGBAs anywhere. Maybe I have to just run it. JRG. Your front panel connectors are gonna work. I'm just a blind son of a bitch, that's all.
I told you there was more connectors over there.
Well, I didn't look there. You said over here. I was on a different spot.
You're the computer guy.
Front
Yeah.
panel. Like these?
I was just pointing
Yep.
out those different pegs that were unused.
You son of a bitch. No, that's fine. So I'll do that one probably. Yeah, actually, I'll set that down here. That'll be super clean. Down through the bottom. Wait. Hold on now. Find a pathway through. There we go.
Takes any more than spit, it wasn't love anyway.
Exactly. Shit. It's kind of convenient. I didn't know there was a chair behind me.
You found it.
I found it though. That was like, yeah. Turn that around. Yeah, they put this one in a weird ass spot. I will tell you that. There you go. Okay. So there's your USB 3.0. So yeah, you're gonna have full connectivity. These will all work now. Okay, so that's that. That's that. We're gonna check for any other RGB ports because that's the only other thing. Is I'd love to give you direct software control of the RGB, but I might not be able to do that right away. You might need an expansion for that one, which wouldn't matter because now you don't need an expansion for USB. JLCP, JRGB. Yeah, it's all JRGB. So it'll work, but you're gonna have to use the button at first, bud, until we get you an expansion that fits this style. Because if you notice, all of his RGB connectors, like this one here, have 4 pins.
3 pins.
His have 3. Yeah, so it's a different standard entirely. It's a pain.
Well, shit.
It'll still work. It's just you have to use the button instead of software control. You know. So let's get this off. One thing I was thinking about. I don't want this on there. It's kind of hard to get to the edge.
That's sick.
Yeah, the lights are cool.
It's crazy, isn't it, man? Let's see. It's not getting sick again. That's normal.
I'm gonna suck your shirt off and walk up to it.
Mm-hmm. 200 mil fans, baby. That'll do it. Now, does your monitor auto switch?
No.
No? So just switch it to that HDMI. Oh, there you go. Nope, you're all good. It posted. It posted. That's good. And look, you can hit a button and change the LED colors.
How do you go back to rainbow?
You just keep hitting the button. Those are some bright ass LEDs too.
Yeah.
No, that is like no joke. Wait till you see it with the front panel on.